Hello, this is Mrs. Sturgeon here to explain to you how to determine the number and type of solutions when you have equations that you're solving. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So when you have a situation where it says to solve the equation, but it starts asking you more questions, we'll see kind of down here when I start scrolling. Basically, the best way to start is just by doing your basic algebraic solving. So what I'll go ahead and start by doing for this right here, we can go ahead and separate down the equal sign so you guys can see the both sides of the equal sign. When I say both sides, that's what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and we're trying to get x by itself. We've got x's on both sides. I'll go ahead and start by getting the x's to the same side. Let's add 3x to both sides. So plus 3x plus 3x. The reason that I did that is because negative 3x plus 3x cancels out. That's just 0. So on the left side of the equal sign, I'm just left with a 2. So I'll carry down my equal sign down to the dotted line. And 2x plus 3x, those are like terms. That's why I wrote it there. So that becomes 5x. Bring down the plus 17. That's still part of our problem here. Let's go ahead and bring that 17 all the way to the other side of the equal sign. Now I'm in a two-step equation like I've seen many times before. So let's subtract 17 from both sides. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do 2 minus 17. So that's going to be a negative 15. Bring down the equal sign, and we have 5x. Notice that my equal sign is traveling along the dotted line. That's exactly what I want to be doing. Now, to get x by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by the 5. Anytime you have a number next to an x like this, to undo it, we do division. So negative 15 divided by 5 is a negative 3. Carry down my equal sign, x. So now there's some questions I have to answer about this. So if my answer is x equals negative 3, it says, what is the solution? Well, negative 3. Okay, and then it says, how many solutions make the equation true? Since it says that x is equal to negative 3, the only thing that will make that true is negative 3. So the answer to this question, how many solutions make the equation true? Only one of them. So this is a situation where you only have one solution. Anytime you're solving an equation and you just get x equals number, you have one solution, one thing that will work for. Okay, let's solve and answer those questions for this problem and see what happens. So I'm going to put my dotted line, same as before. Let's go ahead and look and see. Now in this equation, I notice that there is 4x on this side, but there's also 2x on this side. So I know that those are like terms. Let's just go ahead and combine those like terms right off the bat. So 4x plus 2x is 6x. So this becomes 6x plus 6 equals 5 plus 6x. Okay, so again, all I did there was I combined the red boxes to make 6x, and everything else just kind of carried down with it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the same thing I did in the last problem where I try to get the x's to the same side of the equal sign. So let's go ahead and just subtract 6x from both sides. So minus 6x minus 6x. I always write it underneath the variable where the like terms will be combined. So 6x minus 6x, that's 0, that goes away. Now, that's expected because that's the reason I chose to subtract 6x from both sides. Now, the problem is that it also cancels out on the other side. 6x minus 6x also goes away. Okay, so now I'm left with this. I want to call it an equation, but it's not a true equation, right? It's an equation, but it's not true. 6 is not equal to 5, okay? So it says, what is the solution? Well, you don't have a situation like the last one where x was just equal to a number. In this situation, you have a number that says it's equal to another number, but we know that those aren't actually equal. What does that mean? That means the answer is actually no solution. Okay, so when you have a situation where you have an equation that's not true, so 6 equals 5, another example, you could say negative 3 equals 0. That would be no solution. 2 equals negative 1,000. All of those are examples of things that would produce an answer of no solution. Okay, so it says how many solutions make the equation true? Well, none. All right, last example. In this example, we have some parentheses on the right side of the equal sign. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put my dotted line down the middle. Let's go ahead and distribute. Anytime you have parentheses like this, the logical first step is to distribute. So let's go ahead. 2 times 5x is 10x. 2 times 6 is 12. Okay, I'm going to carry down my equal sign. I'm going to bring down 10x and plus 12. Okay, now, before I started by subtracting the x's from both sides, so let's start the same way here. So I've got 10x minus 10x. Boom, cancels out. Okay, but wait a second. On the right side, it cancels out as well. So I'm left in this equation with 12 equals 12. Now, in the last equation that we talked about, all the variables canceled out just like this one. However, in this situation, 12 actually does equal 12. So what is the solution? All real numbers. Okay, so more examples of things that give you answers of all real numbers. 6 equals 6, 0 equals 0, x equals x, something like that. 10x equals 10x. All those are examples of things that would give you an answer of all real numbers. So then it says how many solutions make the equations true? Okay, well, any of them. Infinite. Infinitely many numbers will make it so that equation is true. Okay, anytime you have an equation where it's one thing equal to itself, the answer is all real numbers, and there's infinitely many solutions to make the equation true.